Okay, so number one, something like little a over sine of big A equals little b over sine of big B equals little c over sine of big C, or do that upside down. I'll let it slide if they must the capitalization, but by the time we take the test, the capital letters should always go with the trig words. Sine gets a capital letter, the other ones are the little letters. 2, I'm going little c squared equals little a squared plus little b squared minus 2 little a little b cosine big C at the end. 3, they work for all triangles. The original day of trig only was for right triangles. For number 3, these newer laws work for any triangles. 4, they have to be careful how they explain it, and I'm guessing there's some people that will explain this less well that would make me mark it wrong. There's only a problem if you're getting angles. So if they don't have the phrase, if you're getting angles, they probably are wrong. Okay, the only problem we have with it, if we're getting angles, we have to know the angle is acute. You could also say, if we're getting angles, the angle can't be obtuse. If you want to say that, I'm okay with that too. But there's only an issue with law of sines if we're getting angles. Because if you're solving for sides, there's no problems. It's gold. 7 or 5, something about triangles. Study of triangles, study of angles and sides of triangles. Pretty much any sort of a 3-word or more phrase that has triangles in it, you're probably good. 6 is sine, cosine, and tangent. Sine is O over H, cosine is A over H, tan is O over A. 12, you do an inverse. 13, you use your calculator. 14, from the way we drew the picture today with angle A, sine is 5/13, cosine 12/13, tan is 5/12. 17, we're going 7.25 and 3.38. 19 is the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus a root b squared minus 4ac, all on the top, 2a on the bottom. 21 is 4.10. 22 is 2.57. 23 is 57.75, and we'll cut that, I guess. Okay, so 23, I see an opposite pair where I know them both, so my initial lean is toward law of sines. If I have a pair where I know them both, that's my lean. I hesitate, however, because I'm about to try to find an angle, and I have to be careful about finding angles with law of sines. I have to make sure that I know that it's acute, and I do. Because if 10's across from 70, 9 is smaller, it has to be across from something smaller than 70. So I can do law of sines. I like my x on the top. X's partner is 9. The other angle is 70, which goes with 10, and I need to write sine on the tops, because that's where the angles are. It's not always on the tops, it's about where the angles are. You okay with that?
Yeah.
So then the 9 has to go up, and I'll punch in 9 sine 70. When the calculator forces this one, you have to wrap it. You punch that in, and you're showing some random weird decimal number that's not the answer, but we need it. If we're getting an angle, we have to always do an inverse. So we're going to get that random decimal number and then second sign that answer, and that should get it for you. Any question? Say again?
Did you do that? Like,
Yeah. Were you with me to here?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to multiply the 9 up, and we'll use the calculator to punch 9 sine 70, and we'll have to close off the 70, because it starts parentheses to wrap up the 70, we'll have to stop it. Divide by 10, and some random decimal number shows up. We haven't yet done any kind of opposite to get rid of the sine part of this, we want to get the x alone. So we need to finish by doing the inverse sine, which on the calculator is yellow button, and then sine. So yellow button, sine, and then give it the random decimal number, whatever that decimal number had been. So if this comes up as like 0.2, you'd go second sign of 0.2. Did that not work, Pete?
No,
Okay, so what did you have for 9 sine 70 divided 10?
8.45. no.
This group, yeah, that isn't it.
Alright. 0.845.
Okay, then second sign that answer.
Okay, got it.
Did that go?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else, anything about 21, 22, or I'll do 23 again? Anything about those that was not going particularly well?
21. 21.
21. So 21, I am not doing law signs because I do not have a pair where I know them both. So I have to do the law cosines. I do at least have this pair where they're both named, so that's my focus for going to the opposite ends of the formula. I need to start with the x squared and end with a cosine 70. And through the middle, it'd be 3 squared and 4 squared in any order you have it. Minus 2, 3, 4, whatever order you put them. And then to undo the squaring, how do we undo the squaring? We root that whole thing. Should get us 4.5.
I figured out what I did. Okay.
Yep. 22. So 22, I see this pair where I know them both. I'm going to think law signs. If I see a pair that I know both, that's the route I'm going to go. I'm trying to find a side this time, so I have no hesitation about it. I'm just going to go get it. So X's partner is 40. The same way that X is buddied with 40, 2 goes with 30. This time the signs are for the bottom because the angle numbers are on the bottom. And then I'll just pause there. Do you understand how I pulled those? Yeah, I did a side over an angle, so then the other group I have to do the same like system, sides on top of angles. Does that make sense? Yep. So then to get the x alone, that's dividing the circling thing, so I've got to just multiply that and punch in 2 sine 40. The calculator always forces these parentheses on us, so we have to keep wrapping them up with the numbers. So 2 sine 40 divide sine 30, should shoot out the answer. Is that okay? Anybody, anything about this? Might as well keep recording. We'll blast through the 1.7 answers. So if anybody watching this video needs 1.7 answers, here comes the 1.7 answers. 1 to 6 is on the quiz, so I'm not going to read those again. 7 to 9, I'm going 24 25ths, 7 25ths, and 24 sevenths. 10th group, I'm going 0.94, 0.87, 30, and 45. 14th group, I'm doing a 53 angle. I'm doing a left side at 12.04, and I'm doing a bottom of 15.97. Does anybody need me to explain how that's happening? To page 2, I have a 33.69 in the top corner, a 56.31 in the bottom corner. I have an 18.03 diagonal side. The next few questions are straight from the quiz, so I'm not going to say that. 24, I have a missing side, 9.76. A top angle 98.79, and I have a bottom angle of 41.21. Anybody need help with any of that? 27, I have a top angle 57.12, a bottom left 78.46, a bottom right 44.42. 30 has no answer. 2 plus 3 is too little to make 7. That can't happen, no answer. 33, also no answer. If 20 is across from 100, 30 is across from something bigger than 100, and that's crazy. The triangle can only do 180. 36 works. There's a side of 7.67, a top angle of 41.04, and a bottom angle of 99.96. 37, madness happens because when you solve and you use your quadratic formula, you end up with two answers. So what you're going to end up with on 37, what is this, 39 to 41, the original triangle has this, 10, 12, and 20. When you run your quadratic program, it's going to give you an answer of 20.40, but it gives you a second answer of 2.16. So this triangle has a clone. There's a second triangle that has a 10, and has a 20, and has a 12, like the original one. But the clone doesn't get a 20.40, quadratic says 2.16. And then we have to finish those. If you finish this 21, the angle at the top is 24.23. Angle at the bottom, 135.77. When you finish this one, angle at the top, 155.77. Angle at the bottom is a measly 4.23. 42 is just a normal triangle. The missing side is 13.68. Top angle 27.61. Bottom angle 52.39. And I'll pause there and explain what happened if you need on solve. Anything there? That's then 1-8, here I come. 1-8. 7 to 9 is 7 25ths, 24 25ths, and 7 24ths. 10 is 0.94, 11 is 30. 12, the angle's 59, left side 5.15, bottom side 8.57. 19, top angle 71.90, bottom left 58.75, bottom right 49.46. 24, missing angle 110, bottom side 4.79, right side 3.72. Anybody first, front, back, anything blew up? 27, missing angle is 80, right side 19.70, bottom side 18.79. 30, right side 12.96, top angle 57.44, bottom angle 82.56. 33, right side 8.50, top angle 23.20, bottom angle 56.80. 36 is a double triangle. If you didn't get a double triangle, you broke the rule about law of sines. You had to do law of cosines. The law of cosines is going to head you toward quadratic. Quadratic program is going to give you two answers, and you're going to get a triangle and its clone. One of the triangles has a missing side of 25.77. If you finish the 25.77 triangle, the top angle is a 29.74, the bottom angle a 140.26. The clone triangle has a missing side of 13.62. When you finish the 13.62 triangle, there's at the top a 150.26 angle. The bottom has a 19.74. We go to the back, then we'll hit questions if we have them. 39's triangle has a missing angle of 90, which lets you do Oscar and his apples and Pythagorean theorem and stuff if you want to, or you can use the laws if you want to. It doesn't matter. The right side's 1.71, the bottom side's 4.70. 42, missing angle 110. And then the left side 11.04, right side 4.02. Anybody, any things, any of these handouts, stuff that's not working in your life?
Would you be able to repeat 30 to 32?
30 to 32 had a right side 12.96, top angle 57.44, bottom angle 82.56.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody, anything, any handout that is not working? So next time we're going practice test. For right now, any of these handouts that are done, we want to send them down, but you should have some sort of work shown on these. If all you have is answers, especially now that all the answers are out on a video somewhere, you can't just turn in a paper with answers, that's pretty crazy. So we're looking for work on papers, down they go. With the exception of that 1.6. The 1.6, we were a little bit confused that first day about whether we were doing programs, weren't doing programs. Some people might have done their programs, others didn't, like whatever. So 1.6, hey, whatever. But 1.7, 1.8, there needs to be work on those. So whenever those are complete, there's some work on them, they're relatively good. Come my way, whether that's today, whether that's next time, those just need to be in before the test.
I'm
The
gonna
test will
keep it
be
for a second.
2 days away. There was also a book part of that went with the 1.6. So the 28 to 34 is part of 1.6. So if you have the 28 to 34, send that with the 1.6. If you're not sending the 1.6, don't send that part. Just, we'll put that together as a package once it is a complete package. Anybody question about schedule and coming events? Again, review sheet, practice test is next, test is 2 days away.
You don't want 1.6 at all?
Yeah, I want the 1.6 if you also did the 28 to 34. Like, there's a 28 to 34 from the book that forms a package with 1.6. The difference about 1.6 is, I didn't care that day if people showed work because we had some uncertainty about which programs were legal and which programs weren't, and that just was a little bit of a mess that day.
Yeah, I just have to find out.
Did you cut that?
No.